I think in a weird way, it's the most perverted, demented thing because
but it's fitting though, right?
Yes, totally, totally.
Yeah, but I kind of wear it well. Right?
All right, it's a KFC Radio YouTube exclusive. It's basically an emergency podcast because we had to tackle this topic of Rico Bosco. I don't even know how to explain this, but I'll just give you a quick rundown if you're not familiar with the situation. Rico Bosco, known lunatic at Barstool Sports, complete psychotic coworker, was a part of our college basketball invitational where we brought Barstool Sports was responsible for the broadcast. And Rico, because he loves college basketball, Dave Portnoy decided to make him a mop boy because it's like the most degrading thing you can do to a guy who loves college basketball. So Rico was so fucking upset about that.
I think he's crazy for that.
Oh no,
that's
cut him to the
cool
core,
thing.
bro. I think he thought he was going to be sideline reporter or on the color broadcast. He really
Who did sideline.
Probably Jerry.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
no. Jerry was a mop guy too. I thought.
Probably. It could be like you. Like Dave was going to make sure that Rico had no actual part of it.
I've thought of it this whole time as the exact opposite way, where, of course, Rico's going to be the mop. Like, Dave and Dan are on the call. I don't know who did sideline. You're involved at least a little bit.
Yeah,
you weren't going to be on the call.
So you're saying you're lucky.
Yeah, I think right. I mean, you had a 0% chance on the call.
Yeah,
that's Dave and Dan.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know who did sideline, but you're the next level.
Right.
You're involved in the broadcast. I thought of it as
I think
a commendation.
I think if it was portrayed that way to Rico, but I think it was like grab a mop, bitch. You're a mop boy. Whatever. That's whatever though. Fast forward to last week, and we find out that Rico Bosco asked one of our producers and editors, Quiggs, to Photoshop the mops out of the picture because he has these pictures where he's on the court mopping, and there's these big-time athletes, and it's a big college basketball arena, and so he has the mop in his hand, but he asked Quiggs to Photoshop it out. Now, there's two potential reasons he gave. The first thing we heard is that he was mailing the pictures to college coaches.
I just heard sending,
mailing, emailing.
If he's mailing them?
Sending the pictures to other college coaches, and then when
the only acceptable thing is, I know he's buddies with the Alabama coach. If he sent it to him, and there's a 0% chance this is what he did. If he sent it to him, and as a joke was said, look like a natural out there, I'm coming for your job, or something like that.
Yeah,
that's
even
acceptable.
Maybe
you're making a little joke where you don't have a chance, kind of deal.
But like that would be fine if the mop was in the picture.
But if you're at least photoshopping it out to make it look like,
if
you're doing it for a joke, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you're doing it in remote earnest.
Well, so then so then when Rico got confronted, he said, they're cool photos. I was going to hang them in my basement so that I don't fucking kill myself. I can't think of anything more demented than this. I'm really not joking. I think this is maybe the craziest behavior in Barstool Sports history.
This is
like, because the other shit that we like that makes a big spectacle is like kind of normal shit. Like you're fighting and you got upset and you threw a can. It's like that's fucking crazy. You almost hurt somebody, but you blew your top. You lost your cool. Or some of the other like just the other weird Barstool things are at least something I've even remotely heard before.
Yeah.
You know, Rico photoshopping mops out of a picture to either send to coaches or to hang in his basement. It's demented, John.
It would be more normal if he was sending Quiggs pictures of women he knows and was saying, "Can you Photoshop these onto porn stars for me?" That would be. I'd be like, I can see the thought process. I don't agree with it, but I can see it.
Bro.
I've never heard of anything like this, and it's honestly particularly hurtful for me. It is. Because me and Rico have this weird relationship where we weren't particularly friends. We weren't. I think actually I would say there was a stretch where we were enemies. He hated me, and then we kind of just became. We squashed that, and we kind of just became coworkers.
Whatever. Yeah.
Then Rico did something I have zero tolerance for and should dead him to me. And then somehow over the last year,
that?
With the con stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then somehow in like the year after that, I become friends with the guy. And I don't know how it happened. It kind of just blankly happened. And I woke up one day and I thought, I'm friends with Rico. Friends with Rico Bosco? and I am.
Well,
and then I've thought about it and I say, people can change. Good for him. He's turned it around. And it turns out he hasn't turned it around. He's just gone underground with it, and he's crazier than ever.
He's way worse than ever. I the same thing for me. I was the guy Rico always ran to when Dan and Dave was just fucking kicking his back in and just torturing the guy. He would come to me, and I would always kind of, try to talk him out of it. Don't kill yourself. It's just an act. It's this is it's always going to be this way for you. Year-to-year contracts, all that stuff. And we always would make strides in these conversations about just think of it as entertainment, and that's the role you play, and that's the actor. That's the role you got to act in. And we would have these earnest conversations, and then he turns around and does stuff that's absolutely indefensible. And some of them being indefensible in the way of like the con stuff, where it's like you're so lucky that Cons was just cool about it, because that's actually indefensible, and then indefensible in the way of this is so fucking weird. There's no way you could ever spin this to me. It's insane. It is. John is perverted. It's perverted. I think that part of me thinks of Rico as a pervert now, because I'm that's such a weird way that your brain works. I think you're a deviant. You do other stuff.
You also have to have a real twisted brain where that Photoshop matters, right? If I Photoshopped a picture,
he knows it's Photoshopped.
Yeah, I'd see that every day. I go, that's when I was the fucking mop boy.
Yeah.
And he sees it and goes, I'm gonna hang that in the basement. That's when I was a basketball coach. You have to have. I gotta be honest. Now I'm coming around on it. Rico's got an amazing imagination, and I have to tip my cap to him.
But okay, forget about Rico. I've run through all these scenarios now. What about when Rico has some company over and he brings the fellas down, and they're like, "Hey, what's that, Rico?" What does he do then?
That's my stint as a weekend as a D1 coach.
That's the other thing too. Is if it was a Division III or something, you could be like, oh yeah, I don't know. They just had him as an assistant coach for the tournament or something. These were Division I teams.
Dude, I never remember if you coached Mississippi State.
I'm pretty sure I would know that, Rico. And then my favorite thing to do with Rico is I role play in my head the conversations he has with his wife when he goes home, because he's got to be like everybody else, oh my god, real tough day at work today, babe, and she's like, what happened? It's well, the guys caught me photoshopping moms out of pictures.
Honestly, partly arguably the person who comes off looking the worst in this is Quiggs.
Yeah,
how did he sleep on this for
so long? Well, I almost think he knows how demented it is, and that he was like.
This isn't even funny. This is
sad. This is sad. This is gonna really hurt this guy if I rat him out on this. But what's funny to me is how it did. You either take that to the grave, or you say it like that. It's funny that 6 months in, he's like, "Did I ever tell you this thing?"
It's the first time Quiggs got drunk in 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you guys about what Rico did.
I bet Quiggs feels a million pounds off his shoulders. I've been hiding this secret, harboring this forever. And then, when Dave said to him, I heard that you sent it to coaches, he said, I don't know all about that. I don't know anything about that.
You remember that.
What? It's either a yes or a no, not a, I don't think I know anything about that. You idiot. And this
there maybe was a letter printed at a local CVS and put in the United States Postal Service.
Maybe.
That can't be true. He can't have mailed it.
No.
Right?
It's got it. First of all, anything's on the table.
Yeah.
Anything. If we're going to say that mail versus email is the craziest thing here, he could have fucking ran up and dropped it in his mailbox himself for all I know. But for someone the The reason why Barstool Sports, why this ecosystem survives, and why this planet of Barstool keeps spinning, is because there's always some new, fresh meat who is either stupid or naive or doesn't play by the Barstool rules, you know? And so there's always somebody to like who's the butt of the joke or the like, have you heard? Can you believe it? But it's Rico Bosco, who famously has been here for 3 presidencies and who has dealt with the most shit from the top dogs. You think he would maybe switch up the playbook a little bit, maybe try to lay low, maybe like there has to have been a moment where he was sitting there talking to Quiggs being like, can you Photoshop these mops out of this picture? And then there has to have been the angel on his shoulder being like, don't do that. That's weird. And if someone finds out, you will get made fun of. And then there's the devil going, but you'll look like a basketball coach. You'll look like you're a Division I basketball coach. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Friends who know you're not a basketball coach, you'll look like a basketball coach.
Part of me thinks he would probably like show it to like knowing Rico with the kids. You know, it's always about the kids. He'd go like a basketball camp and be like, look, this I was a coach, kids. Nobody in his world would ever believe it.
Yeah,
it's so sick. I think it's a sign of a sickness. I'm like afraid for Rico.
Yeah, but it's a sickness we knew Rico already had, and we just thought he'd gotten over it.
And I'm so mad because there was every now and then I would stand up to Dave and be like, I think he's more in on the joke than you know. Because there are times where he would come to me and say things that are the words of a man who's in on the joke. He would be like, I get it, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like you are playing the role and you know it. And then he goes and does something that's so absolutely not that. Like, oh, no, you thought this was a good idea. And it's just
he knew. There's no chance it doesn't get out. So he did a pro and cons list, risk reward, whatever you want to call it, and said, this is worth the risk.
Well, you know what's worse? Being this deep in the game and not doing that risk analysis? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us here, before we do anything, the first thing that goes through my mind is like, how will Dave make fun of me if he knows about this?
Yeah.
And if it's like, he won't, it's normal, I do it. And if it's like, he will, then I don't do it. That's how I've lived my life for the last 15 years.
It's been pretty solid.
Like I feel like I've, navigated it pretty.
Strategy.
Yeah. Rico either knowing that and choosing to do it or not knowing to do that are both equally mind-blowing.
I think
offensive to my faculties. Oh,
I think he did. He
said
here?
to himself, yeah. Can you see if he's here? If he said, I've thought about the blowback from this, and it's worth it. He's the most demented person I've ever met.
I think he's not going to come in.
Oh yeah, I mean he's like full junkyard dog.
I was just saying, I think we're back to. I think me and Rico are not friends anymore. I didn't even do anything, but I think somehow I'm the first to get lopped off.
You guys are on the you're on the outs, and he'll say something to me like he'll be like, you think you know a guy, something like that when he sees me. But this is what I mean. Like
I hope he comes. Like, I just want to say, what the fuck.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't want to have a fun thing.
I want to tell Pavs, like, we're not even making fun. I want to get inside the mind. This is like Silence of the Lambs. We should wheel him in here in one of those things with the mask on. I just want to get inside the mind of a serial, like, lunatic. Because it's just every, couple months. He relapses. That's what it is.
I want like 20 seconds of unbroken eye contact. And then just, what the fuck? Why? Well,
what the fuck, man? I mean, it is incomprehensible that anybody who knows anything about Barstool Sports would do something so weird. Again, like all the other weird stuff, there have been like people who send weird DMs and people. It's doing the dozen. Do you know like how deep into the game they are?
I can go ask somebody. I'll ask John Rich.
People, it's like, oh, that guy sent a weird DM. Like, we've seen that before, This guy was creepy to a girl. Like,
yeah.
Heard of that before. This guy had a burner and was talking shit about someone behind their back. This guy, girlfriends, boyfriends.
From Rico.
Yeah. Yeah, all these things Rico has done.
Yeah, we've heard it before. Yeah, this is the guy who did it.
Yeah, I guess that is true. A lot of these things are his first, second, third, fourth, and fifth offense.
My question with this is, because photoshopping pictures is not a weird thing. it's become pretty commonplace.
Yeah.
People do it pretty regularly. Be it to look tighter, look
Yeah,
handsomer,
well,
like
like
whatever
you
it
mean like
is.
touching it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does
Changing the scenery gets a little funky.
Yeah, can we do this podcast from space?
Yeah.
And we can look at it one day, I'll hang it in the basement and go, that was when we did a podcast on the moon.
No, yeah, that would be the equivalent of us like putting us on like the stage at the Garden.
Yeah.
Be like, remember when we sold out MSG and did the podcast in the round? It's like that just didn't happen, bro.
That was a great
Not even
weekend.
close.
Yeah, big time.
The fucking mop boy. And then he goes on there and he's like, I guess it's shit on Rico day. It's like, well, yeah. When you do this, it's shit on Rico day. So I sadly have to. I'm resigning. I'm retiring from like helping Rico.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, like I can't be the guy. We can't have hour-long conversations anymore. You know?
We've had hour-long conversations.
Yeah, sure. We talked through all sorts of work stuff before. Work stuff, home stuff, like, the whole nine. I've done it with him. I'll do that with anybody here. I am always down to help anybody here. But then you can't turn around and Photoshop mops out of pictures. I can't go. We can't be like, all right, let's get back to work. We're gonna focus on college basketball. Head down. Don't get in fights with Nadu. Don't take the bait from Kirk. Blah, make that list. And it's like, okay, let's go, Rico. We're gonna do it. And then you Photoshop mops out of pictures to pretend to be a college basketball coach, and I cannot defend you.
You're a sponsor who's decided I can't keep doing this.
Eventually, you got to let someone hit their rock bottom. I would absolutely have to imagine this is rock bottom. But you never know with the guy.
How many times do you think Rico's hit it before?
Yeah, right? I mean, we've had at least
He's like
rock bottom Rico.
He's one of those spaceships from Armageddon where it's like, I hit rock bottom, but I can drill, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
He hit rock bottom.
I need to hit 60 feet right now. Harry Stamper.
I got it.
Rico is the Harry Stamper of hitting rock bottom. I always hit my depth.
We got to abort. I can hit it. We're going to get there.
Harry Stamper has never missed a depth before, and he's not going to start today. Photoshop them up out of the picture.
Do it.
What the fuck? What? What's the
mops?
fucking mops about?
What are you, crazy?
Oh. Yeah, they depress me.
The mops depress you? Yeah, but...
That whole thing. The whole thing.
Right, but then why are you trying to make it... You're bringing it back up?
Because it's a cool picture.
It can't... Listen, so... It's a
I'm
cool
training
picture.
to black it out.
Oh, that's actually a point I said where I was like, when you see it, don't you know?
Remember
like,
it?
Isn't it a...
You should just never look at that
Yeah.
again. So I understand it's a cool picture, but you looked at that picture and thought the good, this is a cool picture, outweighs the bad of them finding out you've Photoshopped
Well,
mops,
in fairness,
and now,
I didn't think they'd find out.
But how you talking a quiz?
This is my
Yeah.
problem. This is
I
my
know,
problem.
I'm learning.
Do you have a much
I'm
better
learning.
relationship
I'm
with
learning.
I know you're
than I
learning.
thought?
Show,
Three
it's show
presidencies,
business,
Rico.
not show friends. It's very evident.
3 presidencies.
Dude.
You're still learning that if you do
I-
something
listen.
wacky and weird.
Those guys got a lot of bodies buried too. So, like, it's crazy. I thought a few things were like.
Why did you start talking about the good?
I
What
thought
are the bodies?
I mean, they're gonna be the cool kids on the boats in Chicago and fucking do coke, whatever. I thought a few things would be like, yeah, no problem.
No.
We won a title together. Of all people,
Who?
me and Quiggs.
He's his dozen.
Oh,
partner.
right.
That is
I forgot you
fucked
guys
up.
were dozen teammates.
That is
I did
fucked
forget
up.
that.
That is
Super
fucked up.
fucked up.
That is fucked up.
Super fucked up.
But you have to understand that, like, actually, how do we know? Did Quiggs just did somebody ask?
Yeah,
like,
I think Quiggs brought it up just on
just
out of
brought it
his
up.
Saturday happy hour. It's
Now-
actually crazier to bring it up 8 months later.
That's
At
what we
that
said.
point,
We did say that.
Just
we did
let
say
that go.
We did say
like,
that.
It's all right.
But,
yeah,
But the other side of it is maybe that for 8 months, every single person he talks to, he wanted to talk about photoshopping the mops out.
Agreed.
And he eventually was just like, I gotta tell somebody.
he wanted to.
Bro,
he probably wanted to let it go.
We talk so much, right?
I know.
And then and
I had a good run.
it's like yeah, you did. It's like
You had a very good run.
yeah,
I
I don't
was
think this
actually-
is like crippling. This is not necessarily like.
this is the most demented thing anybody's ever done at Barstool.
I don't know about that.
It's so crazy.
I don't know about that.
Bro, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's like the other stuff, like when you were.
But would you? All right,
Listen,
but
wait.
the other side of it is, would you want the mop picture hanging in your basement?
Yeah, I actually started this whole thing.
So the answer is no. If the answer is no, what do you do to
your
get rid of that?
basement,
Bro,
you don't
I-
have to fucking hang anything.
I started talking about this with I had a completely different view of
Yeah, I saw you chirping. You were
What?
like, yeah, they're not going to do any background research.
Well, that's yeah. I forgot about that.
That's getting taken
I
out.
forgot to even bring that up.
The
during
whole
this.
there's a whole element of this too that people being like, oh, he's sending these to guys that's like a resume. That's fucking demented.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, so what are you sending it as?
I
Like a
didn't
joke?
send it as. I sent the one picture when the guy had the big win, fist pumping him with the mop. With the mop.
Okay, that's
Fact.
what I said. If
It's
you
not
set
like
them
I'm
up,
sending it to like Florida
then
has
why-
Adobo
when
open,
he
and I'm
asked-
like, hey, I can qualify, and it's this picture. Like that's fucking.
but
nuts.
when he asked, did you send it to coaches? Why didn't you just say no? You said, well,
'Cause,
I don't know about that.
HIPAA, it still gets you a little. It's a little loopy up there.
Like what I said was, when you fucking lose your mind because of the rage, that I think anybody can relate with.
Right.
Maybe they don't take it there, but they can understand losing your.
Well, I knew. All right, here's why. I knew I sent him.
Photoshopping mops.
I
is
knew.
nuts.
I knew I sent him the. I knew I sent him a picture after a big win. I don't know which version I sent, so that's why I was like, I don't want to get caught
Well, you
in the
pretty
lie here.
definitively just said it was with the mop.
Agreed, but I had to go and check.
Oh, you checked.
The whole
Okay,
time in
okay.
between, I go, oh, this is going to be bad if I sent them the edited one. And then I was like
That
doubling
is
down.
fair
I'm like,
that-
see, I
well,
sent them the
you know
regular. I
what
sent
that
them the
is?
regular.
You know what? I'm okay with that. That's Hank,
Hank,
99%.
99%.
Yeah. When they
Yeah,
asked Hank, did you download the pirate
99%.
porn? And he said 99%.
99%.
That's fair.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
You don't remember
all right.
what you do.
All right, that actually, you're off
So
the
you're
hook for
on
that.
record saying this is the craziest thing
I
anyone's
think
ever
in a
done.
weird way, it's the most perverted, demented thing that because
Yeah, but
there's-
it's fitting though, right?
yes, totally, totally.
Yeah, but I kind of wear it well. Right?
Looks good on me, no?
yeah. Pretty form fitting.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy about how you're handling it right now because I thought you were going to be all fucking
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
right
no,
now
it's a-
too.
it's a
So
personal issue.
It's
Yeah, it is.
it's
You got people you
it's
gotta trust.
funny. It's funny if you're funny about it.
Yeah.
If you're serious about it, you're insane.
I'm also. I thought you were gonna be because I was
I'm
explaining.
We thought
very
you were gonna
mad
say
at how
no to
it got
coming in
out.
here.
I'm very mad how it got out.
Just that, like a
Yeah, I think that's
teammate
that's
ratted you.
completely fucked up.
Yeah. Well, it's also because it's one
Also,
of those things.
McCarthy's face is fucking priceless. Of all the people who wanted to find out, like him,
Oh, yeah,
him
yeah, yeah.
audibly laughing, almost hitting his head laughing.
What it's also putting it out there. It's a dozen teammate, and you know what that's gonna mean for Rico.
Right.
Like if I did this, he did this. Like it's crazy, but it's not gonna go right to Dave's inbox where he's gonna be licking his chops. Like we got another.
No.
So Rico, Quiggs really just threw you under the bus on
Yeah,
that one.
8 months later was crazy.
Now-
Yeah.
using this as a barometer. How many other crazy things are there that
Right.
you've done that we don't know?
Right,
about?
like do you have little things
I
like
don't
that
know.
you've been doing?
I don't know if there's that many crazy things.
But there's a couple.
Yeah, I guess it depends what you think is crazy. Like,
Yeah, everybody's crazy is different. Like you thought it was okay
You don't
to
have to.
Photoshop
You don't have
bots.
to reveal them. Let's just get
Yeah.
a ballpark number.
I don't know, probably 4 or 5 that you would deem
4 or 5
crazy.
things that you think
Most of the
right now are
crazy
totally
things are
normal.
on camera. Yeah.
Yeah, like you were like, it's normal.
Well,
We-
I
and
mean,
we would
like,
be
all
like,
right, so
what the fuck?
10 years ago when I was making my wedding party, I kept reaching out to Millmore. This is before I was even really getting paid.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to put the groomsmen faces on the Knicks video, the Go New York video.
That's
he didn't
okay.
end up doing it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
but that's
crazy.
fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's, so this is my
because
second
that's a
Photoshop
normal
issue.
thing to be like,
Right.
put our faces
never ended up
onto
doing
this
it.
funny, cool thing.
Yeah.
You being like, I got to get the mops out of my photo is
Yeah,
a little
it's a little
bit-
crazy.
And wait, what was you were going to, or you did hang them in your basement?
No, I still have to. Nothing is hung in the basement.
Okay,
I'm
so walk me
deciding-
through like you have
Well,
people
I mean,
over
yeah, I
in
have
the
a
basement.
folder of like cool photos. It's labeled basement in my phone.
Can I see some of the other ones?
Yeah, it's like Finau, Allen Houston, Ron Artest.
Are you in
Bill
these
Snyder
pictures?
won me a
Yes,
ton
yes,
of money.
yes, yes,
That
yes,
one's
yes.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Playing in
that
this-
one is cool.
Johnny Dawkins.
So you
Gus
had a-
Malzahn, Bobby Hurley.
Okay, you have
Zach
so many of these
Gallen,
pictures. Why do you need this
Hayes.
mop photo? Like
What?
he has 15 photos there. You needed number 16, and it had to be the mops.
Yeah, I was just filing them away. When you have a blank wall, the possibilities are endless.
But so what if? Okay, let's play this out.
I'm so glad we got rid of the invitational. By the way, now can you imagine what would be going on now?
You would have been. They might listen.
They would glue
We might
me
have
to
to
a
edit
mop.
that out because he might have a whole invitational now just to make you the double
he might
mop boy.
would lose $1 million just to bring it back. He'd be like financial. It's like Marvin. Turtle pays $1,500 a month for a cell phone. Get him an unlimited plan. That's what the financial advisor telling Dave. You're going to lose $1 million on this for a laugh. Is it worth it? He's like, it's worth it.
Is your basement like your cave of solitude?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay, so it's not like you would you invite the boys over and watch a game down
would,
there?
yeah,
and then
yeah.
someone goes, "Oh, that's a cool picture," and what do you say?
I probably would have to tell that part of the story,
Yeah,
but
I think
I would
so.
say I
I
edited
would
out the
think
mop.
so.
Yeah, I would edit out the mop. I would say, actually, it's not that cool a photo. They made me do the mop, but I had to edit it out. But I just don't want to look at it.
So crazy.
I would tell the story. I just don't want to look at it.
I can't think of exactly what it is, but I've recently done exactly that, where like I would go out of my way to explain to people how that actually wasn't the case, and I'm like, it's just easier to say yes. Why am I?
Yeah.
Just like going, I think I forget what it was, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, like there's some things that you just don't even need to bring up.
No. I don't
And
think
there's some things you just don't even need to do.
In the end, I don't think these photos are making the cut. I don't think they're
Are
going to
you
go.
still considering it?
I was still considering it. Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty
now
cool.
actually you
When
should
I'm
do it
going
as a
this, it's pretty cool to the guy.
If you
I think the mop as a whole is cool. Like
Oh, that was bad. No, you didn't have to do it.
See-
and then
see,
spilling
but-
drinks on purpose.
Yeah, they were.
That's
that I
It
was
was
trying to
bad.
explain to him that was done as a fucking.
Yeah.
You wanted to have a bigger role, and they were like,
if
sticking
the
it to
Boston Bruins said, "Hey, you gotta come scrape ice in between the whistles," I'd be like, "That's amazing."
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if
It was
you
a tough
were,
night. Two tough nights. I missed my sister's 30th birthday for one of them. Tough.
I thought you were gonna say something different than 30th birthday.
that's
30th
not
birthday.
that big of a deal.
I think you were gonna
Yeah.
say wedding or something.
She's great, though. I mean,
I'm sure she is, but it's like I got to work.
yeah.
We have a basketball invitational.
Agreed. But
Did you send her a photo?
What? Yeah. Edited. Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought this story had died down. I forgot it's getting a second life.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but it fits, right?
Yeah,
Yep, totally.
Which somehow you're saying in a sense that makes it okay.
I know.
and it's
this was a
working.
phenomenal
That's
appearance
how
by
it
you.
works. Yeah, exactly.
Phenomenal.
Exactly.
This was
You're
like,
like,
this
yeah,
is everything we
fucking
talked
insane,
about.
I know.
This is you putting our talks into work.
Exactly. I don't
did
know.
it.
Jackie, you've been around some whack jobs. What do you think?
I think you're crazy.
Yeah, okay.
I was thinking that
I
too.
thought she
like,
was going to have like some kind of rationale.
Do you ever did you go home being like, babe, I had the toughest day at work, and she's like, what is it today? And you were like, I photoshopped the mops. Like, did she?
Well, she's like, what? Because she knows when you get home and the phone's blowing up and people are reaching out, like, it's like, what's going on? I'm like, well, there was a mop issue at work. She's like, you had to use a mop? You know what? She's just at a point now. She's like, you know what?
done with the mops.
Don't answer. It's best I don't know. I might as well work in fucking brain science.
Right. It's like
like-
plausible
yeah,
deniability.
right
like I can't.
It's crazy.
All right. Well, this was good. This
Yeah.
was great. The mops. I think it's one of the funniest things that anybody's ever done here.
Yeah, but you got to tighten the circle is the other lesson too. You know what I mean? Show
telling
business,
me.
not show friends.
Well, listen. You had a team of. I mean, you can't trust Kirk Minahan as far as you can throw him, and you would have thought
I
you could
can.
trust Quiggs.
I can
And-
trust Kirk, but he does have to do his
Nobody
job.
can. Listen, I love Kirk. You can't trust him.
Yeah, he's got to do his job for that show.
He doesn't have to, but he does.
Yeah.
He'll air you out in a minute as soon as he thinks the content is.
I
good.
didn't know that about Kirk. I thought Kirk.
You didn't know
No, I thought Kirk was like.
Walt.
Yeah, there's
If
definitely
you tell
been
him
some.
something and you're like, hey, this isn't.
He's great with advice
I think
and
if you
stuff,
were to
but there's
say to
definitely
him
been-
like,
yeah.
"Yo, please do not talk about this."
Yeah.
But if you're having a conversation that's like, we both think this is off the record, but you didn't specify, that kind of thing.
It'll leak.
I
it.
guess I assume. I guess I just assume things are on the. I don't know.
You should always assume everything's on the record.
Yeah.
But if it starts to get like, don't ever assume. Just always assume you're on
Kirk,
the
Yeah,
record.
he'll-
Kirk, I would have thought of. I forget. Someone told me recently. It was like, don't. He tells everything, and I was like, oh, I thought Kirk was a guy who could separate.
I think
who-
the really important things he can. But
Okay.
then some of this
That's
other
what I
shit, it's
figured.
like
No, he
That's
puts
what I
info out there.
Yeah.
for sure.
So now you got like no like
Well,
your
Quiggs has
team
been
is
off the team. Quiggs didn't show up to the first match.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it's me, Hank, and Kirk.
Right.
We actually just played. We played as producers in a tune-up match.
I thought that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
That was just a fake match to get going.
It was a fake match. He said to boost
Minahan
my
TV.
confidence, and I didn't even have that great of a match.
That's fucking hilarious.
I missed the
the
Saved
fact
by the
that
Bell
you took
niche.
up time of a work day to do a fake dozen match.
Yeah.
This place is bonkers.
It's lunacy.
This place is a zoo, man.
It's a lunacy. But yeah, I mean, you some days you're behind the curtain. Some days you're in the lion pit. And they're laughing
that's
at you.
everybody
as the
knows
phrase
that one.
goes.
You know what I mean?
The old
It's a zoo.
adage.
It's a zoo. It's a zoo. Some days
Some
you're getting laughed
you're
at.
behind. Say it again.
Some days you're behind
The curtain.
The curtain.
the
and
curtain.
Other days you're the
Other
lion
days you're
pen.
getting laughed at.
Right.
Good, bad, or ugly. You're here to provide.
Are you afraid of any more? Like you think?
I don't think
so
anything.
you thought this was dead. You don't think that like
No,
this
I
week
forgot.
on Unnamed or
No, I don't think. I mean, I don't know what else
Like,
could be
just
on
mop
on
jokes
names. I'm
and,
away
like-
this week. I'm going to New Mexico for Pick Central. I gotta beat Marty. I gotta get 2 picks right. The loser has to go to Alaska. So there's a potential. There's a potential you could go from New Mexico. Big F had to go to North
From-
Dakota. They picked the worst states.
Yeah, that's good. That's
So
good.
it was North
That's a
Dakota,
good-
South Dakota. Smitty got to go to California. Marty got his pick. He went to Tennessee, and I go to New Mexico. Loser goes to Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Try
bet.
explaining that one.
When you go
She's
home.
like, I'm like, yeah, I might have to go to
the
New
baby's
Mexico.
sick. I gotta go to
and-
Mexico because I
and
missed on the
Alaska.
under.
And she's like, I don't get it. Like, neither do I, really.
Just give me a mop, babe.
Yeah, just give me a mop.
All right, Rico. Great job.
Yeah, somebody had me in the Dream Team photo. Did you see that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
think
should
we
lean into it.
we should sell those for 4th of July. I need the merch bonus, so pick them up.